So guys, welcome to a field test, a supplement, a little bit something special we're trying on this channel, which is going to be called Murder of Crows, a Khador podcast. Yes, and basically it's going to be starring a few of my friends who have been focused on this channel or who I know personally. And obviously in the first episode, I have my good friend Niek, aka Orsis Octavir, as he's known on the U of the tubes. How are you doing today, Niek?
Pretty good, pretty good. Very excited about the things we're going to talk about today.
Oh yeah, I am super looking forward to it as well.
Makes me regret the $120 I recently spent on just scoring stuff.
Yes, Niek and me are secretly adventuring into other clans. I'm not going to mention mine because I do value my friendship with Niek. And Niek shared his with mine, and I'm kind of also semi-disgusted. So our friendship might be on the line, really, with our new factions we're adventuring in. But we're going to try and bring out Murder of Crows maybe once a month or once a blue moon, really. And it's going to be a podcast related to Khador factions, to the new sort of players and also the veteran players of Khador. And this is episode 0. This is the supplement episode to see, we're going to throw this out there just as a tester, a teaser to see if you guys really want more of this kind of content. And the first one, basically of this, is this lovely new Jack that has approached us by Privateer Press, and by God, Niek, it looks fantastic.
It looks absolutely amazing. It's basically... I played War Machine for 7 years now, I think. 7? Yeah, 7 years. A little over 7 years, I think. And I always played Butcher. And from the start, I was like, as soon as they started getting character jacks, I just really wanted a character jack for the Butcher. I really wanted it. And then Drago came out and then turned out to be Lads. And then Beast, Sorshas, and oh well. We'll wait another, what is it? Legends was 5 years ago? We'll wait another 5 years. And now here he finally is. So I'm really excited about this.
So the assumption is that we're both presuming that it will be the Butchers, because obviously we've said stuff about possibly being Zakova's one, because I said to Niek possibly because of the resculpt, this could be her. There's obviously some new things about this, but then when we broke it down, Niek convinced me that it's the Butcher. So well, Niek, do you want to go into why you think it's Butcher before we... before Zakova, anyway, gets a
I'm not saying it's not going to be Zarkova's, because there's there's like a bunch of Orgoth stuff on it. There's including the weapon, the fist and stuff. The reason I think it's going to be Butcher's is because of a lot of these similarities with the actual Butcher model. So right now we've got both of the pictures loaded up.
Yes,
I believe we'll probably do something on the screen.
Yeah, shiny graphics.
All right, so Butcher himself has got the Sword Knight helmet and the skulls around his waist, just like the new Jack, whatever his name will be.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got the loincloth or crotch armor thing.
Should we call it crotch armor?
Crotch armor sounds pretty badass. But as far as I know, there's no other Khador caster that actually has this kind of like segmented armor.
Mm. The one thing that really stands out a lot, which I've said to Niek, which we'll discuss now, is I like the fact that you've got this wolf skin on him. This wolf skin looks awesome, and it also looks, if you look carefully on it, you've got some sort of, it looks like some sort of ruins, actually.
It's actually the skin that's on top of him is actually a warp wolf skin, which is pretty badass, because he just, normally you put like Tharn or whatever fur on your coat, or like wolf fur, but this is actually a warp wolf. You can see the claw with the armored hand of the Circle of Boros on his shoulder, which is it's really badass.
Yes, it looks phenomenal. And also, I have to admit, the one thing that looks awesome, which stands out a ton on the model for me, more than anything, is what we were discussing as well, Niek, was his head. His head looks phenomenal. It's kind of got that old school kind of Crusader Knight head.
Yeah, the head is amazing. The head is
so cool.
Is extremely well designed. It's got the normally Jacks have got like a wider eye slit, but this one is very uh, very thin, and there's like um, cross sections in it as well. It looks
Yeah.
it looks amazing, and the the face is, well, basically it will be based on a juggernaut because you can see the jaw and
The joy.
that little
Yes.
triangle in the bottom. So the face will look also really cool from this side, I think. Just like Beast of Nine's head looks really cool.
I agree. Well, the one thing that I know that we both kind of shuddered when we saw it was it's kind of got the sashi of a Kodiak.
Yes, it is
Unfortunately.
how do you mean unfortunately?
Well,
It's the things it's got in common with the Kodiak is the of course the spikes on the shoulders, which we also see a variation on both Black Ivan and Beast of Nine. They've got like more
Yep.
square spikes, but this one is just like the Spriggan, just like the Kodiak
and the Spriggan. I think the
Grolar.
Spriggan
No,
was
no.
awesome. No?
The Spriggan's got it on his head though. It's
Oh
pretty
no!
much the
Yeah,
same
that's
part,
it. Yeah.
but these are just like the Grolar and Kodiak parts. And you can also see the Khador insignia on his right shoulder, which is
Yeah.
also something the original Kodiak hat. I'm not sure if the plastic one will have it, but the original one had it.
It did. I love that. I like Kodiaks, but I just don't like the model as much.
No,
That's the
because
best way of putting it.
it's dated basically. So
That's the best way of putting it.
the other things it's got in common with the Kodiak is the spikes on the feet, which in Mark 1 was the explanation for it having Pathfinder. If this model has Pathfinder and Reach, it will be
amazing.
it will be Khador Christmas basically.
We would cry.
That would
We
be
would cry.
so good.
Oh, my
Then
days.
it's got the knee spikes, just like the Kodiak as well,
Yep.
and
He does.
the upper leg panels basically, which
I
are
was
also
saying-
identical to the Kodiaks.
Yes.
And
And they're
the-
also similar. The two on just above where the knee spikes are, the two plates that are on there
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Very
with the,
similar to Beast 09 as well. Beast 09's plates that are on there as well.
Yeah,
I
Beast
know
of Nine is
for-
basically a Juggernaut upgraded with found Kodiak parts.
Yeah.
He's got like the heavy boiler. Also on this model, there's a heavy boiler. You can see that.
Oh
It's
man, if
the-
it can run without spending focus, that'd be amazing.
That would be pretty insane. However,
Oh.
the the Grolar also has the design for the heavy boiler on him, but he doesn't have the heavy boiler rule, sadly.
Okay.
He's got the fleet rule, which is probably something to do with replacing the heavy boiler rule for something that's just a little different.
Yeah. Well,
And then there's of course the right hand fist, the one without the Orgoth shield on it, which
Yes.
is it's just like Butcher's gauntlets. It's basically it's exactly like the thing that's covering the back of his hand and his like knuckles and his wrist.
yes.
And then there is a plate that's sticking out on the back of his forearm, which is also exactly like the Butcher's, with
Yeah.
the rivets around it. And then on the fist there's the small like line on the side, and then there's a row of rivets on it, which is identical to the Butcher's as well.
Oh man.
And
It's
instead of the
so good.
like the normal 3 spikes, it's got the Kodiak 3 spikes, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
The one thing that really makes me drool a little bit as well is the weapon. The weapon looks
Yeah, the weapon is really cool.
I've always fancied, a mace, because we have something very similar, with Harkovich, with his meat fist of ham, should we
With
say?
his ham club.
With his ham club. But this thing, oh man, it just looks good.
This looks
It just
amazing.
great. I'm so looking forward to it. So now, the one thing we wanted to throw something out there just for giggles is, what do you think he might have, Niek? What do you think he might have rules-wise, possibly? Or should we just throw some crazy stuff out? So we've said that he's got, the spikes on the feet, so he might have Pathfinder. He's got heavy boiler, so he might not need a run, but that would be kind of intense if he had that as well.
It's probably I'm pretty sure he's got Pathfinder because the Growler also has Pathfinder, right?
Yeah, I think
Does
so.
he? Let me
Here we go.
Let me
We're
grab
gonna
my
do
book
some.
really quickly.
But the best thing about this is I pray that he hits as hard as Beast 09 does.
I don't think
would-
he will hit as hard. He's probably more of a utility. I'm thinking like a beefier Brenos. Like
Okay.
you've got the character goat from Ravana, but then a little bit less shitty in melee, basically.
I love how we just compared a big piece of metal to a goat ridden
Well,
by.
I think it might have something like a like a magical spell effect on his weapon.
Oh,
And
I
then
hope
so
so.
being more utility over beat stick.
Maybe
Yeah, he's
maybe
got the,
cold
Crowbar has
might as
Pathfinder.
always be thing.
So
You know?
if this thing doesn't have Pathfinder, I don't know what to think anymore.
He's got a shield, obviously, but it's a
I
small
don't
thing.
think it's a buckler. It could be a buckler, but armor 21 character jack, besides Behemoth, of course. I'm not sure that will make it. Additionally, if he has reach and a buckler, I'm not sure how much points this thing would be. It would be pretty
Do you think
steep.
as much as the Behemoth, you think?
No, because ranged attacks are basically the most. Ranged attacks and magic are basically two most expensive things in War Machine. When you when you compare the destroyer to a juggernaut, for instance, which are basically identical except for the mortar and the fist.
Yes.
The axe is slightly different. You've got one less power. It's 9 points versus 7. It's a pretty steep point investment for a range attack. Basically, you can very clearly see this on other models that are basically identical but get a range attack. Range attacks are just really expensive in the game, so I don't think he'll be 13 points, but 11, 12
11,
definitely.
12?
Of course, it depends on his role, so this is just a complete guess.
Yeah, what we're guessing.
This thing might have like a natural disaster spell, like Butcher 2 used to have in Mark 1, where if you kill a model with the spell, it explodes in an AoE, and the models that are killed in this AoE also explode in the AoE, and those models that are killed in the AoE also explode in the AoE, so don't think he'll have that, but still, I really still miss those days of a natural disaster.
A man can dream, I believe. A man can dream.
It was the best spell in the game. It was so much fun.
Okay, so just seeing the size of the weapon then. Power and strength of that bad boy. What do you think it could be?
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be... I think it'll be 18.
Yeah, 18? Okay.
And I'm thinking maybe Berserk, because
Oh, that'd be so good.
it is a Orgoth blade. You can obviously see that.
Yes.
It's got like Orgoth seals on it, and those are not Khador runes. Those are also not circle runes, I think. I'm pretty sure these are all Orgoth runes, because I've looked through the interwebs for the different runes, and they really don't fit any of the other ones except for like Orgoth runes.
Oh man, if he had Berserk, that would be the most craziest, interesting Jack to have.
Yeah,
it would be very interesting.
I'm hoping they'll make something that fits a different like design slot than Beast of Nine, because Berserk, Thresher, it's both a bit of the same. It's not exactly the same, but he will fit the same space. So I want him to do something different than Beast of Nine. But I also want him to be as good with Butcher 3, for instance, as Beast of Nine normally is.
I wonder if they would keep him, like you're saying, if they give him Berserk, that'll be fun, because that kind of literally fits the portfolio for the Butcher, period.
Yes.
Which would be a lot of fun. So PP, if you're watching this, just throwing that out there, Niek and me would like it to have Berserk and be a reincarnated metal version of Butcher. That would be freaking awesome.
I'm thinking maybe the weapon might have some Dispel would be really cool on it. It would make Khador's anti-upkeep game a little bit wider than just Zerkova and Eris and Falachev, of course.
It'd be fun.
Would be really cool, because I'm basically hoping this guy is going to be more of a utility jack than Beast of Nine, so a little bit less punch than Beast of Nine, but still some really fun options.
Yeah. Oh no, it would be too much to ask for it to have an arc node of some sort.
Well, that's where we kind of bleed into it might actually be Zerkova's jack.
Yeah.
Which is basically just because it's covered in Orgoth shit, but...
So the idea is we want it to be Butcher, because it looks a splitting image of Butcher's 3 like concept art, pretty much.
Yeah.
With a few Orgoth stuff on it.
Keep in mind, though, that both of the concept arts we're looking at right now are drawn by the same guy. They're both done by Nick K, the guy who does most of the concept art for Privateer.
Yeah.
So it might also have to do something with that.
Well,
I'm just thinking as far as story-wise, Zerkova has no real reason to get a new character jack, but so does Butcher, really. So I'm not... From the Vengeance fluff, I cannot really make out any of the like hints towards a character jack, but that never really happened. There's also a bunch of character jacks that never even get mentioned in the fluff, so...
That's true. But You've heard it here first. We would love it to be Butcher. I wouldn't mind if it's actually Zerkova.
No, because I'm actually going to play Zerkova sometime soon as well, because that new scope looks really badass. But Butcher's got a special place in my heart, so please let it be Butcher's.
It'll be amazing if it's Butcher's, but I think it'd also be amazing if it's Zerkova's, because obviously, like I was saying to you, Niek, was, the resculpt's out. Yeah. She doesn't see a lot of play. This could be her character Jack, which might get more players to play Khador a little bit different.
The thing is that they basically tried the same for Nemo, because he got the
Dynamo, right? Isn't it?
He got Dynamo, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think some people might actually like him. It's pretty hard to make something that the Signar players actually like, because they kind of have a tendency to just discard anything they get, except for Stormwall, of course.
Yeah, they have a lot of good Jacks, but they just like to complain, from what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, everyone likes to complain. So some of the faction boards are just really, really hard to get through. Anyhow, if this model is Zerkova's character Jack, I'm thinking it might have something like a affinity with her that makes it an Arc Note, because that would be the ultimate way of giving only her an Arc Note and not Zerkova.
Oh my gosh. If it had the... Okay, would it be OP to say that it had an Arc Node or the affinity with Zerkova?
Yeah, exactly. So that would prevent Sorsha from freezing gripping everyone from all over the freaking place.
That'd be awesome, PP. Just saying. That'd be phenomenal.
Not as cool as a Butcher character, Jack, but it will be cool.
But still, an Arc Node, but yes, obviously, Butcher's close to your heart. The lovely, lovely Sorsha is close to mine. So there's another thing that's on our friendship barrier. Obviously, if you've read the fluff, you know why Butcher and Sorsha don't really see eye to eye.
Yeah, to be honest, I've been playing a lot of Sorsha 1 recently, so it feels kind of dirty playing her as well. Another thing about the rules for this Jack, I'm thinking Spell Ward.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Because there's so much Orgoth shit all over this model. I don't think there's any way you can cast a spell on it. Pretty sure it's just gonna blow up in your face if you try to cast a spell on it.
It's true. I would actually laugh if it's just like, yeah, we just found all this stuff. It looked kind of decorative, and we just put it on, just like kind of a pimp my Jack kind of situation in the.
Yeah. So we found this manhole cover, and I put it on your fist there.
Yeah, we found this. It's quite stylish, I've been told. But yeah, drawing back to that little shield, that looks awesome.
Yeah, that shield looks amazing. Awesome. It's strange because it doesn't really fit with any of the other stuff we've seen in War Machine before. It only really fits with the Orgoth style, but it's a little bit more angular than the normal Orgoth style, which might be because it's a newer concept artist. But it looks really cool if you ask me. It kind of reminds me of Sirius for some reason.
I was thinking along the lines of, I hate to bring up the movie because it's so bad. The second
I probably haven't seen it.
It's true, so. But listeners might have. The second Riddick movie.
Yeah, haven't seen that one.
Okay, don't. The on the screen now is probably going to be some awesome art of what the characters kind of look like. It looks very similar to what that is, but also with Convergence, I can see some sort of kind of stylish with some of the
it's
just
the
the
circle on the
it
forehead.
well.
I think that does it.
Yeah.
But it's when I initially saw it, I thought it was circle because I saw it on Convergence when I saw it on my phone, basically, because someone sent him an image just screaming in enjoyment. He was like, "Yes, you're gonna be a new character, Jack," and he sent me the picture I saw on my phone, and it looked serious at that point because I have a really crappy phone. And then I went upstairs to check it on my computer, and it's obviously Orgoth, but.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure what effects it'll have.
I'm looking forward to it. I think you're looking forward to it. I think all us Khador players are looking forward to this.
Especially because I was very excited about seeing new character Jacks without upgrade kits. So Dynamo, whatever his name is.
Yes.
That one we've already seen that that one is going to be a metal and resin one, just like the Hordes kits we've seen, for instance, Dozer and Smig and Despoiler.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Dozer and Smig kit is phenomenal. Just saying,
yeah,
I've
really
seen good.
Some pictures of that one. It looks
so
amazing.
Good.
So this one is obviously also going to be resin and metal, and it's going to be really cool dynamic sculpt, most likely, just like the Dynamo sculpt. And then there will be the new styrene or whatever hard plastic kit for the Growler and Kodiak. So It's gonna be a lot of new Khador stuff, as well as the Mad Dog, which I know most people aren't very excited about. I'm not very excited about it either. So we'll talk about that some other time. But so there's gonna be a new kit with the Growler and the Kodiak in plastics, and the new plastics, so not the crappy ones we're used to. And then this guy's gonna come out in that lovely resin and metal combination that we've seen Dozer and Smig and the other guys.
Okay, so with the last final thought on this, Niek, it's something fun. I thought I'd throw it out just before we end this podcast. It's a very short one because obviously this is just going to be the supplement kind of taster. But what kind of pose would you like this Jack to be in? We've seen, you've got like the iconic Beast 09 artwork where he's over like the trenches, and you've got Drago running.
Seen that a million times.
Yeah. So, what do you think this guy could look like? What? How would you like him to be posed? You personally, you think?
Right. I'm just trying to think. So I'm hoping he's either in the pose that we see Brenos in the artwork for Exigence. So basically, double handing the weapon and just really menacing.
Yes.
Or possibly just more like a pose that Dynamo has, just keeping weapon in one hand, pointing it forward, and the other one just shielding the rest of his body, basically, with the larger buckler.
That sounds awesome. The one I was thinking, I was throwing out an idea of having kind of like a hilarious swing, but then I realised he has got a kind of mini shield, so it would be cool to have him kind of like Gladiator-esque if he was leading with the shield and his arm was back up in the air ready to like smash someone, because then that is a very dynamic pose. You get to see the whole Warp Wolf like dragging on the floor possibly, and just having him kind of bent like ready to just like completely kind of like spear another Jack would be pretty awesome. Yeah,
it could also be pretty cool if you show him just like seconds after swinging, so having his arm extended like he's made like a Thrasher swing attack.
Yeah.
So having one of his arms extend all the way to the right, and then the other one shielding the rest of his body with the buckler again. That could also be really cool.
That could be really, really awesome. But yeah, guys, I think we can wrap that up. I think that's a pretty solid episode, Niek, and I think let's
it's more of a news segment, but yeah,
it's like a news segment. Well, we had recorded an original episode which
has
been lost. 2. That's technically we've recorded 2, but have been lost in the memory banks, which is always fun. But yeah, guys, if you like this content, please leave a like. A like is much appreciated. Leave below your comments. Niek and me like to fin through the comments of most of our videos, and definitely, comment below. What are your opinions on this guy? What do you think he could possibly have? It'll be pretty awesome to hear what you guys think. And obviously on the PP forums, they're probably saying stuff what he could have and all this as well. But please chime in on this video. That would be awesome. So yeah, I think that's a goodbye from me, Lee from Bleeped Up Productions. You can check out more of my content on the screen now by hitting the thumbnail. Niek, should we give a shout out to your content, even though you haven't done anything?
Probably don't.
We haven't.
I keep getting subscribers, and I feel really bad for getting new subscribers, even though I'm currently not in the position of making any new content. I'm swamped in both.
But you have some amazing content.
But yeah, it's I might make some new content. I might not. I'm thinking about making 2 new videos. One on really quick and dirty OSL with an airbrush, and one on the Rust tutorial that we were talking about. Okay,
so if you want to see those, hit the like button on this video, because if it gets a ton of likes, obviously we know you want to support this content, this kind of new podcast we want to do, but also you want to see Niek make more painting tutorial videos, because if you've seen his models, trust me, they're amazing. If you go back and watch the battle report that Niek and me had at SmogCon last year, oh no, it was this year even, it was just this year, it was, oh man, he put my models to shame, really, he did. But yeah, really, guys,
looking forward to painting this one in yellow as well.
Oh man, I'll be ready to definitely post some images up of that and just be like, look what my friend Niek does. He's a beast. But anyway, guys, take care, have a good one, and yeah, hopefully we'll have more future content of Murder of Crows.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.